seems to be giving real experience for 5 of his of course, have many games behind. Quite an upsets, haven't there, along the way?
Best thing about the women's competition, women's along with the men's in Moscow.
Well, in case you're worrying, England are playing in pale blue. Don't ask me why, but they are, like the men did earlier today. Referee, 23-year-old, very promising referee from Sydney, is Amy Parrott, who is a nursing disability care worker on her real life. But she was a good rugby player herself, playing in Sydney in the first grade. So, big experience for her too. So, England it is, back, was that a knock-on? I think it was, by Emily Scott there. Emily, who was with Chamberlain in the starting lineup in the Dubai Challenge Cup here last year. Emily from Thurrock, Abigail Chamberlain from the Richmond club. So that's how it stands in this pool. So it's really open. If you just play a game, you get 1 point, get 2 for the draw, and 3 for the win. Spain already mounting some pressure here. And unlike the men's tournament, there are 3 pools here, so it's the top 8 who go into the quarterfinals. The winner, the best of all the teams, will play number 8, 2 will play 7, and so on like that. 12 teams altogether, of course, here. And again, it's Spain. This is Paula Lopez. Good tackle coming in right in the corner, early pressure. And Spain are looking confident, aren't they?
They certainly are. One of 2 teams to have won both of their games so far. The other being Australia. And they like to attack Spain.
They beat Brazil 19-0. They beat South Africa 5-0. England, well, they had a tricky start. Were well beaten by South Africa, 20 points to 5. But then turned it round and 22-0 against Brazil. So, very open, this one. Tremendous pace here, and it's Ruth Laybourne who's been England's top scorer already. She scored 3, and there's number 4. Beautifully done, Ruth Laybourne. Well, she's a great athlete and a flying winger too. Plays for the Darlington Modern Club.
Well, this was textbook sevens, really. Use the space, put it out to your speed. She got around the defence from Spain, and there was nothing really she could do because she hit the ball with pace. It was classic sevens. Well done from Sarah Ruth Laybourne.
And the conversion is good as well. Interesting too, isn't it, that some of the best attacking points come when you're in your own 22.
Certainly does. I guess teams sometimes get lulled into the thought that you won't attack, you won't push it out wide when you're behind your 22. And of course, the sweeper is back, which means there are 6 defenders against 7 attackers.
And it worked well for England just then. No one trapped it, it's in touch.
If you don't know much about sevens, a sweeper stands in the fullback role, if you compare it to 15s, and they basically collect, tackle, take down any of the players that make a break.
And don't stop running.
Yeah, you got to be fit.
Quite often is the scrum half who's everywhere. Inaccurate throw in, so it's going to be a scrummage. England 7-0 early on. Well, they met here. Only a few of them were in the game, but in the Rugby World Cup sevens here in Dubai 2009, Spain played England in the plate semi-final, and England won 12-7. But a lot of them to the bridge since then. Still a slippery ball. I know the rain stopped, but the ball went backwards. No, I think that's Abigail Chamberlain. I must say their numbers aren't very helpful, are they?
It's difficult to see, that's for sure. It was a good break there by Abigail Chamberlain. She just needed the support.
Well, she's the most experienced player in this England side, played all 3 of the Challenge Cups last year, which has now turned into, I'm so pleased to say, an IRB Women's Sevens World Series. And there'll be 4 tournaments. This is the opening one, then it'll be in Houston, in Guangzhou, and then Amsterdam. So it really is a very important, historic day for women's sevens. And of course, don't forget, they're also in the World Cup sevens, and they'll also be in the next Olympic Games with the men. But this is Paula Lopez. Good cover.
Keep coming back.
Drifting offence by England, effective. Trying to cut through the middle. Matteo. Again, good sound tackling from England's defence. Got to let go of the ball. Can't. You've got to let go of the person who's tackled. Can't just lie on top of them like that. So here's a chance. Spain, about 25 metres out, into the hands of Matteo. And the breakthrough comes from Marta Garcia. Well, one of the ladies who was in the Rugby World Cup sevens here and scored 3 tries then. And that is good result from that attack.
Just taking a look at the conversion here, because this will make it all even at 7-all.
Just about 40 seconds to go of this half. It's good enough, and Patricia Garcia.
Well, I have to say this came from nothing, really. It was all a bit casual. But sometimes that's when the holes appear, and Garcia, she just saw a massive gap open up in front of her, and she went for it.
Is that going to go to the 10 metres? Taken on by Harriet Miller-Mills. One of the youngsters, 21-year-old, coming out of England's under-20s. What an experience it is for these newcomers in this starting lineup for England, 5 of them. Oh, it's a missed catch there by Ruth Laybourne. Good recovery, though. And this is Emily Scott. Penalty will be played, although the hoot has gone, and no love lost at the moment on the pitch. Patricia Garcia. One of just a couple of the teams who play in clubs in Madrid. Well, that's a risky ball. It gives the opposition to the opposition. Thank you very much, say Spain. But it's in touch, and that will be half-time now. So it's all wrapped up at the moment. At half-time, England 7, Spain 7, and of course absolutely crucial. I think this has been a good shop window really for the people who watched today, particularly when the game was in dry and the crowd were packed around the stadium.
Well, a lot of people haven't seen women playing sevens. It has been televised at the Challenge Cup last year, of course, or last season, I should say. But this is the first time we've had 8 games televised at the Dubai Sevens. It's fantastic.
Amy Ferret then starting the second half. 23-year-old, and was a referee who started, as a young teenager, has now got right to the top help ranking of women's referees now, doing well. Away by Ana Real. Well, that could have been a scoring pass if it hadn't been over the head of Paula Lopez. Looking a bit sharper, aren't they, than England, I must say, at the moment. Spain again into the hands of Elizabeth Martinez. She was one of those. 7 of them played here in Dubai last year. So they've got the experience, and it's a lot of newcomers in the England side in the deep end straight away.
Certainly are in the deep end, because England, of course, in the final here at Dubai last season when it was the Challenge Cup, And then the women's team taking out Hong Kong and London.
Absolutely. I mean, they've lost obviously some of their top flying players. At the moment, of course, top women playing in the 15s and the 7s, and England are playing New Zealand at the moment. Well, tomorrow, in fact, in their series against New Zealand women. Quickly taken and away by Abigail Chamberlain. Jane Leonard in the hands of Natasha Brennan, one of the Wasps players. Got a release. Chance here again then. And it is Ruth Laybourne again. Well, it's great to have a flyer on the outside wing, isn't it? Given a bit of room, and she's very difficult to get hold of her. Ruth is the name she usually loses, but it's uses rather. Sarah Ruth Laybourne now becomes top scorer of the day. That's her 5th.
Well, one thing in sevens you cannot beat, and that is sheer pace. And Laybourne has got that in spades. She just made it look so effortless there, getting on the outside of the Spanish defender, going over for a crucial try for England.
Joint now with Emily Cherry. (12-7) then, England leading. Well, a win will certainly take them higher up in the top 8. Spain for certain will also be in that 8, but it all depends on the game that follows. The last one of the day. Little knock on.
Yes, you'd have to say this is a vastly improved performance from England. But with players like Jo Watmore, Alice Richardson, Michaela Staniford and Heather Fisher away.
Rachel Burford.
Yes, it was always going to be a matter of time. They need to get their combinations and they need to get used to the game plan that they're trying to implement.
Yes, I think it was a bit unimportant for Staniford to actually get into the test match against New Zealand. She was actually going to be captain here, but she was called away, and that was the priority.
Well, that time Laybourne isolated, and Julia Pla got the turnover for Spain.
Knocked back by Paula Lopez. Quickly taken. That's by Sarah McKenna. Switch through to Brennan. Coming in on the side, was it?
Turning into a bit of a scrap.
It was, rather. England get the penalty, go wide. Got to make sure you don't bridge over the tackled player. Once again, Brennan slipped through the tackle and scores it. So the 26-year-old from the Wasp Club gets a first try on her debut appearance.
Well, it was a very messy breakdown area, and you saw there that Jane Leonard just flicked it up between her legs, and Brennan was there, and pretty much it was a stroll over to the try line.
Kept on her feet just about. Slippery surface, that's for sure. So one to remember. Sarah McKenna. But England's safely home now with a lead of 10 points and Just 40 seconds remaining.
3 tries, a good result against Spain.
Certainly so. They've certainly come on, England, as you were saying earlier, after their, well, of course, it was an initiation, wasn't it, for so many of them in the opening game against South Africa when they were well beaten 25. Spain then beat South Africa in their second game, and now England have taken revenge, in a sense, with a lead of 10 points and just 10 seconds remaining. Take it again.
Final game for teams in a sevens tournament can often be a little bit messy, a little bit flat, because fatigue sets in.
Sure. Well, Leanne Riley just gets about 5 seconds of play, comes on as a replacement. Of course, as with the men, 12 on the squad, 7 on the field. Anyone can come off the bench of the 5 players. There we are. Well, it was very satisfying for England, I'm sure, coming back after a disappointing start.